Soul, it's Luz with Love here and welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you are a regular. Today I am taking on the James Turner Thin House Challenge. I have been meaning to do that for quite a while since it came out, and I'm quite late to the party. I think his video came out like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but here I am attempting it. So I saw a lot of people make this into quite like a modern home that was just recently built. I had a bit of a different idea. I thought, you know what, maybe the middle house has been there for quite a while. You know, in the financial crisis, somebody bought it because they couldn't afford to have a normal home and they built a house in the alleyway. So I just tried to make it a little more similar to the other houses, but it still does stand out quite a bit. My concept for this was that this is a crazy cat lady house. So, you know, a woman in her 50s, maybe 60s, she lives with a bunch of cats. I think I put down like 3 or 4 cat beds, but I think she'd have more. You know how crazy cat ladies are? To be fair, if I ever have 3 cats or 3 dogs, I'm gonna be the happiest person alive, so like nothing against cat ladies. And you can see that I have placed this in Brightchester because the original lot is in Windenburg and I don't have Get Together, so that's why I placed it in Brightchester. And the reason why it doesn't fit very well on that lot is that this is actually the only lot that it fits on in Brightchester, and I wanted to do Brightchester specifically because it's probably the closest to Windenburg when you don't have Get Together like I don't. So that's why there is just like a giant patch of grass around it. But what I tried to do is I didn't touch any of the lots outside what was already there from James's download. So if you want to place this in Windenburg on the lot that he originally built it on, it's gonna fit. That's the reason why I didn't do anything outside the tiles that were already there. And now I'm am I finishing up the outside? I think I'm slowly gonna start finishing up the outside. I'm adding some planter pots outside on the windows. This does have a bit of like a Swiss cottage feel to me. With, I don't know, I think it's the cats and dogs items. I think it is the spandrels, and I think it's the fences on the balconies. But it does have like a little bit of a Swiss or Austrian touch to me. And I did add lost trays, which I don't usually do, but for this one I used Chef's Kitchen and I used Cat Hangout because, come on, it's a crazy cat lady home. Of course it's gonna be a cat hangout. And now you can see me slowly moving on to the inside. And I started obviously with laying down the stairs and figuring out how this is going to work. I thought I would do a little bit of exposed brick on the inside, but then I abandoned that idea. And I just stacked the stairs like I saw most people stack them because honestly, there's not really much of a choice with the stairs. You could technically do like stairs around the back, along the back wall, and have them like wrap around, but then you wouldn't be able to have any windows there. So I prefer to do it the way everybody does it than to not be able to have any windows on the back wall. And for the kitchen, I went with the Parenthood items because they seem the most appropriate for this build. And I used like a little stone tile for the floor in the kitchen because it actually reminds me of a tile that my family's cottage in the woods has in like the entryway. And I actually really like that tile. So I thought, you know what, let's try to put it in a build. I don't think I've used this tile in The Sims yet. And now you can just see me add some clutter to the kitchen. I added a coffee machine and actually found out that one of the swatches matches these counters. I added a bread box because for some reason I add that in every single kitchen. A cookie jar, that's another thing that like I put that in every single kitchen that I build. And some spice racks. And then I added like oh yeah, now I changed the wall colors as well. I changed them to like a pale pink, more of a dusty pink. And I added the tiny living shelves in there as well because I thought that wall was looking a little bare. And I tried to stack one under the other. It took a while because, you know, the footage from this tiny build is a little, like if you feel like I'm moving around the camera a lot, you're not mistaken. I am moving the camera around so much because with the walls up and only 3 tiles thin of the build. It's awful to navigate the camera, especially when you're trying not to move it as much because you're recording. But anyways, I thought that the cats and dogs chairs were brilliant for this build. A lot of the cats and dogs items were really good for this. I think like quite a bit of the cats and dogs aesthetic is crazy cat lady aesthetic. So it worked really well for this. And the laundry day shelves, I do add these quite a lot to my builds, even though they're really unusual. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in real life, but so many of my builds have that. And I added a bit of an entryway with just a coat hanger, and I was thinking about adding some wall plants to the outside, but then I abandoned that idea. And I was just stuck for a while scrolling through the catalog. And yeah, just like a basket with some blankets and things like that. I added those creepy paintings as you go up the stairs. And I think we need more sets of paintings that match, because anytime I need to use like 3 paintings that are kind of matching but not the same painting, I use this like boy and the little weird house, the creepy paintings. And for this build, they weren't that inappropriate, but for some they really are. So I think we got something like that with the tiny living paintings. These are really quite good to combine with one another. And you can see me add one to the loo down there in the kitchen. And this house actually has 3 bathrooms, but only one of them is like a full-on bath, because on the ground floor there's just like a toilet. There's not even a sink because I didn't have space for that. The same thing is on the living room floor, and then on the second floor where the bedroom is, there is a full-on bath. And the reason I had that is, you know, there's one lady living here. The crazy cat lady probably doesn't need 3 full bathrooms for herself, but I thought she's probably getting old, so it would be nice for her to have at least the loo on most floors, so that she doesn't have to run up and down all the time. Now in the living room you can see that I added 3 cat statues, because I was thinking, you know, maybe that's statues of the cats that she has. Maybe that's not all the cats that she has, but yeah, I did add like 3 cat beds, 3 cat bowls, 3 statues of cats, so this is very much playing on that she has 3 cats, which when you think about it, it's not that crazy. It's not that much. When you imagine a crazy cat lady, she probably has like 15 cats. So if you want to play in this house, you can obviously add like 12 more cat beds if you want a proper full-on crazy cat lady. And I added a little bookcase and just a chair, and I love using is it Jungle Adventure? This stool? I think the stool is Jungle Adventure, and I love using it as a little side table because it's a perfect size for a side table, and we don't have any side tables this size besides the bowling night one, and that one is mid-century modern. That definitely does not fit all the builds, even though I love it. And I added a little teddy bear on the couch as well, as you saw, because I was thinking, you know, maybe she has some grandkids that come around and play with it, or maybe she doesn't have family, maybe she never married or anything like that. So maybe it's just like a childhood memorabilia, something like that. I don't know. I love adding teddy bears to my builds, sitting them on couches or something like that. And now I'm moving on to the second floor where the bedroom is and where the full bathroom is. And I also added a little laundry area and the cat beds on the hallway there. Or no, I didn't add the cat beds actually. I added cat litter boxes, 2 of them. And there's one downstairs in the kitchen as well. And then you're gonna see the last floor is the cat kingdom. But this floor has the litter boxes as well, because it's kind of like next to the laundry cleaning area. It kind of made sense. And I love this Parenthood. Is it Parent? No, it's not Parenthood. It's kids' room stuff. This wardrobe, because it's just really nice and plain, and it fits in so many builds. And there's the nice plain swatches, so it doesn't have to look like it's from a kid's bedroom. And I thought, you know, this lady probably loves plants as well, because, you know, older ladies, grandmas usually like plants. I don't want to stereotype any grandmas, but that's just my observation. And now moving on to the bathroom, which is actually a part that I filmed the next day after filming most of the footage. because I was up till like 1:30 a.m. filming this, and once I got to the bedroom I was like, oh, I can't keep going, I'm just gonna finish in the morning. So now I'm doing the bathroom. I added that shower tub combo that looks very grandma-ish to me. I put that in all my grandma builds. And with the mirrors, it's weird, I really wish we could move mirrors up and down. Well, can you move them up and down? I think you can use the raise up object key, can you? But you definitely can't lower them. And now that I think of it, maybe you can't even raise them. But I wish that we could do that, because there's so many times that a mirror doesn't fit the sink that I'm using, and I'm literally limited to like 3 mirrors that I can use in that build, which is ridiculous. And now, as I'm talking on about the mirrors, I'm actually finishing up the laundry area. And for this, I wanted to make it a little more cluttered, you know, add some laundry baskets, things like that. I added an ironing board. I added some plants as well, because, you know, we established that ladies like plants. And in this part, you can probably see that oftentimes I don't show the part where I move the camera, and it just skips to the next area of the room. And that's because this build is the worst when it comes to camera. And that's because it just keeps sliding down, because the other 2 buildings on the side of this one don't have any floors. So anytime you slide too far off the edge of the 3 tile build, the camera just goes haywire and you go up and down and up and down. And so that's why I cut it out. And now we are actually in the cat room. Yes, this is a whole floor for just the cats. I mean, there's like an armchair for the lady, and she probably comes and hangs out with them here. But I thought this was hilarious to add like a whole floor designated to the cats. There's plenty of cat trees, and there are beds there. I added some decor. I added the little like birch trees that you would usually put in a kid's room. I thought that would add like a little nice detail behind sort of like the green cat trees. I don't know, I just didn't know what to put on that wall, and that looked good, okay? And I added a bunch of cat toys all around the place, because I was thinking she probably spoils the cats. She probably buys them so many toys and they just leave them lying around. And now I'm moving on to the little balcony on the top floor, just adding some little, not lounge chairs, just some armchairs, I think. Yeah, some armchairs. And if you guys see me come back to a room that I have already finished to put the light there, that's because I always forget to put lights in rooms, because I built with the tiny saucer light size down, and then I swap them for like normal lights, but I always forget about it, so I have to come back to it. And yeah, there's this little balconette on the other side of the building, so I just added a little armchair there. And now I'm moving on to the outside, because yeah, I think some of the stuff that James used was Get Together, so when I loaded it up in my game, it obviously loaded up without it, because I don't have Get Together. I think that's like my catchphrase at this point. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't have Get Together. It's not that I don't like it, I think it's amazing, I just don't have it yet. And now I'm moving on to the back area, where I think James in his video put a little garden, so I kind of did as well, because what else are you gonna do? I just added a bunch of plants back there, 2 benches, a little fountain, and 2 trees. I did cut out quite a bit of me laying down the plants, so now you can see me start doing it, and in a minute it's just gonna skip to a moment where I'm almost done with it, because I spent like 15 minutes laying down plants, and I don't think you need to see that. Yeah, now we're almost finished miraculously. And pro tip, guys, if you are struggling with landscaping because you're missing money, and obviously I was building this with like no budget in mind, but if you are building on a budget, use debug plans. You just need to put in 2 cheats to access that. Firstly, bb.show hidden objects, and secondly, bb.show live edit objects. If you need more tips for landscaping, I do have landscaping videos, so make sure to check it out. It just came out a couple days back. Anyways, now we are moving on to the screenshots. I added quite a few in here because I thought the outside looks pretty good, but the only issue is obviously it doesn't fit well on that lot. And this is the inside. I do really like how the inside turned out. It looks very grandma-esque to me. I did not put up a painting behind the TV, which is something that when I look back at it, it's now like I can't unsee that I forgot to do that. Anyways guys, we're getting towards the end, so thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, because that's where I let my followers decide what my next videos are gonna be. Alright, bye!